Respected Kim Jong-un, First Secretary of the Workers' Party of Korea, First Chairman of the National Defense Commission of the Democratic People's Republic of Korea, and Supreme Commander of the Korean People's Army, guided the flying training of Unit 1017 of the Air and Anti-Aircraft Force of the Army, honored with the title of Alternate-led 7th Regiment. He was accompanied by Vice Marshal of the Korean People's Army, Choi Ryong-hae, Director of the General Political Bureau of the Army, and other senior officials of the party and army. After receiving a salute, Kim Jong-un mounts the commanding post. He received the report on the training plan and guided the training. Upon receiving command, the airmen took the joysticks and flew up into the blue sky of the country. Their hearts gripped with the great honor and happiness of showing their training to the respected Supreme Commander. The airmen fully demonstrated their high-flying technique they had trained consistently. Supreme Commander Kim Jong-un watched their training on the balcony of the commanding post for a long time. He learned in detail if the airmen had been prepared to successfully perform their combat tasks under difficult and complicated circumstances. The valiant airmen wonderfully carried out their flying training tasks with bold and satisfactory combat actions, leaving contrail in the sky. The training powerfully demonstrated once again that when war breaks out, the air will be under the control of our Red Hawks, as they are commanded by the great Sanguine Commander, who gave them strength and courage, saying confrontation with the enemy is a confrontation of idea and faith, confrontation of boldness and confidence. Supreme Commander Kim Jong-un praised that the training was excellent, and said because of the reliable airmen who are impregnably defending the sacred territorial air of the socialist fatherland, making themselves flesh bombs, the sky of the fatherland will remain blue all the time. Respected Kim Jong-un stressed the need to strengthen the flying training and prepare the airmen as death-defying corps and competent combat pilots ready to skillfully cope with modern warfare. Kim Jong-un met the airmen who took part in the training and encouraged them. He went out to the runway and saw the planes. He said the airmen and soldiers in charge of the maintenance should keep the planes well, which are valuable combat equipment for defense of socialist fatherland, and be fully ready to fly up into the sky immediately after receiving command of sortie. Supreme Commander Kim Jong-un warmly waved his hand with a bright smile to the service persons who were raising cheers, looking up to him setting out on the road of inspection of the farm. Respected Kim Jong-un, First Secretary of the Workers' Party of Korea, First Chairman of the National Defense Commission of the Democratic People's Republic of Korea, and Supreme Commander of the Korean People's Army, inspect the sub-unit under Unit 552 of the Army. He was accompanied by Vice Marshal Choi Ryong-hae, Director of the General Political Bureau of the Korean People's Army, and other senior officials of the party and army. Supreme Commander Kim Jong-un warmly waved his hand toward the enthusiastically cheering service persons. Expressing the belief that the service persons of the sub-unit would firmly defend the infinitely precious socialist fatherland, he gave them a pair of binoculars and an automatic rifle as souvenirs, and posed for a photograph with them. Supreme Commander Kim Jong-un understood the performance of the tasks of the unit and visited the duty commanding room and specialized the study room. He pointed out that the commanding officers should foster the capacity of promptly analyzing and judging the situation of the battle and creating favorable circumstances. He said in modern warfare, unpredictable sudden circumstances may be created frequently, and it is important to have a better understanding of the enemy to defeat him with future-oriented war methods. Supreme Commander Kim Jong-un learned about the management of the combat technical facilities. He looked around the dining hall and the subsidiary food storehouse of the sub-unit. He appreciates the efforts of the commanding officers who have established different kinds of supply service facilities convenient to the life of the service persons and are sincerely taking care of them with kindred feelings. That day, Supreme Commander Kim Jong-un visited the women's company under the sub-unit. He looked around the education room, barracks, wash and bathroom, and different other places of the company. and paid deep attention to the life of the soldiers. He said military services are like studying at the University of Revolution, and stressed the need to pay primary attention to the political and ideological education. He said efforts should be directed to the revolutionary education and class education, moral education in particular, to prepare them firmly to do their share in the society after demobilization. In the barracks, he felt the dead and kindly asked if it is not hot in the dark days. Supreme Commander Kim Jong-un appreciated an art performance of the soldiers of the company at the resting site. They performed various items including cars, chirping of magpie at the post, and pro-women song, The Fatherland I Defend. Supreme Commander Kim Jong-un said the ideological and spiritual faith of the soldiers is excellent. In their brain there is no room for impure ideas, and he was satisfied, and that's why Hungarian culture is nice. Strolling along the compound of the barracks resembling a park, he said the subunit has been well built up according to the demand of the Hungarian era. Respected Supreme Commander Kim Jong-un expressed the belief that the commanding officers and soldiers, pooling their mind, would establish iron-like military discipline and forcefully demonstrate the militant spirit and features of the strongest elite revolutionary army.
A joint friendly meeting was held at the Korea-Russia Friendship Modern Bond Secondary School No. 1 on Tuesday, on the occasion of the 10th anniversary of the great leader Kim Jong-un's historic visit to the farthest region of the Russian Federation and the first anniversary of his visit to Siberia and farthest region of Russia. Invited to the meeting were Alexander Simonin, Ambassador Extraordinary and Plenipotentiary of the Russian Federation to the DPRK, top members of its embassy, and Russian students studying in Korea. Present there were officials of the Korea-Russia Friendship Association, teachers and pupils of the school. After looking around different educational facilities, the participants enjoyed an art performance of the pupils and sports and amusement games. The ceremony was held at the Presidency on the 6th in honor of Kim Yong-nam, President of the Presidium of the Supreme People's Assembly of the DPRK, and an official friendly visit to the Socialist Republic of Vietnam. Present at the ceremony were Kim Yong-nam and his suite members. Also present there were Chen Teng-sung, President of the Socialist Republic of Vietnam, and personages concerned. Kim Yong-nam, together with Chen Teng-sung, revealed the Guard of Honor of the People's Army of Vietnam. That day, there were talks between Kim Yong-nam and President Chen Teng-sung at the Presidency. Kim Yong-nam conveyed the greetings of respected Kim Jong-un to President Chen Teng-sung. The Vietnamese president expressed deep thanks for it and asked Kim Yong-nam to convey his sincere regards to Kim Jong-un. At the talks, both sides exchanged views on further developing friendly and cooperative relations between the two countries and on other issues of common concern. That day, President Chen Teng-sung gave a banquet in honor of Kim Yong-nam. In his speech, President Chen Teng-sung wholeheartedly wished the personal Korean people a great success under the leadership of the Workers' Party of Korea, headed by Kim Jong-un. Next, Kim Yong-nam made a speech and said he was firmly convinced that the visit will be an occasion to further expand and develop the friendly and cooperative relations between the two countries that have a long history, excellent traditions, and great potentialities. Artists gave a performance at the banquet. Kim Yong-nam, President of the Presidium of the Supreme People's Assembly of the DPRK, paid a courteous call on Wen Fu-song, General Secretary of the Central Committee of the Communist Party of Vietnam, on August 6th. Kim Yong-nam conveyed the greetings of respected Kim Jong-un to General Secretary Wen Fu-song. The General Secretary expressed deep thanks for it and asked Kim Yong-nam to convey his heartfelt greetings to Kim Jong-un. He said, "So pleased with the successful celebrations of the centenary of birth of President Kim Il-sung, 4th Conference of the Workers' Party of Korea, and the 5th session of the 12th Supreme People's Assembly." He noted that the Korean people are registering brilliant successes in building a thriving socialist nation under the wise leadership of Kim Jong-un. minister expressed deep thanks to the DPLK government and people for their positive support to the Vietnamese people in their struggle for national liberation and the reunification of the country. Kim Jong-nam met and had a talk with Wen Dong-Dung, Prime Minister of the government of Vietnam, on August 7th. On the same day, Kim Jong-nam and his party laid wreaths before the tomb of President Ho Chi Minh and the monument to hero martyrs. Kim Jong-nam, President of the Presidium of the Supreme People's Assembly of the DPLK, sent a message of thanks to Son Tân Sang, President of the Socialist Republic of Vietnam, on the 7th. The message noted that this time they exchanged views and reached consensus of opinion on positively developing the friendly and cooperative relations between two parties, two states and two peoples with a long tradition in accordance with the common idea and interest and the issues of mutual concern. The message wished the friendly and patriotic Vietnamese people a great success in the struggle to accelerate the course of industrialization and modernization of the country by carrying through the decision of the 11th Congress of the party. The message also wished the Vietnamese president good health and welfare, as well as a greater success in its heavy duty. Kim Jong-nam, President of the Presidium of the Supreme People's Assembly of the DPLK, arrived in Vientiane, the capital of Laos, on Tuesday to pay an official friendly visit at the invitation of Sumalis Ainason, President of the People's Democratic Republic of Laos. He was accompanied by Ri Deong-nam, Minister of Foreign Trade, Kang Min-tul, Minister of Mining Industry, Kung So-gung, Vice Minister of Foreign Affairs, and the suite members. They were received by Pong Sawat-buka, Minister and Secretary General of the Presidency, Sun Tân Sai-nyat-zat, Vice Chairman of the External Relations Commission of the party and Vice Minister of Foreign Affairs, Sai Thong Keo Duangdi, Deputy Mayor of Vientiane, Kiatisa Keo Vandit, and the Extraordinary and Plenipotentiary of Laos to Korea and other officials concerned, Han Bong-ho, Ambassador Extraordinary and Plenipotentiary of the DPLK to Laos, and embassy staff members. Kim Jong-nam headed for the city, escorted by motorcycles. That day, Kim Jong-nam and his party had departed the Socialist Republic of Vietnam. Yang Hong-suk, Vice President of the Presidium of the Supreme People's Assembly of the DPLK, met and had a talk with Pekka Woristo, Ambassador Extraordinary and Plenipotentiary of the Republic of Finland, the DPLK, who paid a farewell call on him at the monthly Assembly Hall in Pyongyang on Tuesday. That day, Park Ui-chung, Foreign Minister of the DPLK, also met and had a talk with the Finnish ambassador. The dwelling houses have been built in conformity with the demand of the new century in the township of Sangsong County, associated with the modern leadership exploits of President Kim Il-sung and Kim Jong-il. Nearly 300 houses have several living rooms, anteroom, kitchen and washroom for convenience of the inhabitants of the mountain county. Removal of the new houses started Monday. Officials of the county congratulated the new occupants. The participants in the 2012 Pyongyang Machine Equipment Exhibition visited Manjung-dae on Tuesday. The statement of the spokesman for the National Defense Commission of the DPLK declaring a strongest countermeasures to the U.S. hostile policy was reported abroad between July the 29th and the 31st. The statement was reported by the Hong Kong Phoenix Satellite Television and the Heilongjiang newspaper of China, the Thai newspaper Bangkok Post, the French AFP, the Nepalese paper Nepal Today, and the internet homepage of the Nigerian National Committee for the Study of the Sochi Idea. Japanese passengers recently made public press statements denouncing the United States and the South Korean puppets for their attempted extra-large state-backed political terrorism against the DPLK. The press statements were issued by the chairman of the Japan-Korea Society for Scientific and Educational Interchange, the chairman of the Japanese Committee for Supporting the Independent and Peaceful Reunification of Korea, the chairman of the Nagano Prefectural People's Council for Supporting the Independent and Peaceful Reunification of Korea, the acting chairman of the Hokkaido Prefectural People's Council for Japan-Korea Solidarity, the honorary professor of Saitama University and the Secretary General of the International Institute of the Tsuchi Idea. The successes of the gay charity sportspersons at the 30th London Olympics were repeatedly reported by media of China, Russia, Japan, Great Britain, the United States, Nepal and France between August the 1st and the 3rd. And that's the end of the news read by Cha Song-nam and Kim Chun-ok. This is Voice of Korea.
The Korean Central News Agency on August 7th issued a commentary